work with anyone on the board to help with as much as possible the last 12 months in a sense of, as Fiona said, understanding all of the guidelines, the processes, the regulations, and just doing as much as I can to help the sector, as I'm very passionate about the sector. And yes, it has been quite a journey the last couple of years, but I've enjoyed it.
Thank you, George. Sue, would you like to go next?
Yeah, that's fine. Hi, everyone. I'm Sue Lee. I'm Managing Director of Morton Michelle. For those of you that don't know Morton Michelle, we specialise in childcare insurance, and a big part of that is children's activities. So we look after, whether it's franchisors, franchisees, and independents as well. So we were actually founding members of the CAA. Before my time, that was the family that ran the business before I got involved. And then I really was very proud last year to be invited to join the board of the CAA. And I haven't got a specific role as such, but it's really, I suppose, it's just helping in terms of making sure, we widen the memberships, working with Julia, the membership benefits, and, and any experience I can bring from a business and insurance perspective, really. So yeah, happy to be here and welcome.
Thank you. Jane, would you like to go next?
I'm Jane James, was known as Jane Maudsley. I'm still getting used to that change of name. I'm the founder and franchisor of Little Voices. We teach drum and singing to children aged 4 to 18 across the country as a franchise network. I joined the board, I don't know, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. COVID just seems to have wiped out a year of everybody's lives. And I support on the new membership front, support with Julia, speaking to new members and prospective members, just to find out more about the CAA and what it's done for our business and how it can help their businesses. So welcome, everybody.
Amanda?
Hi, thanks. Yeah, I'm Amanda Gummer. I run Fundamentally Children and the Good Play Guide, and we are the accreditors for the CAA. So I'm not on the board, but we run the accreditation program, and I worked with quite a lot of members in setting up and establishing the criteria for accreditation. So I will talk a bit more about that in a bit.
Helen?
Hi everyone, I'm Helen Simmons. I'm a previous franchisee and now the franchisor of Caterpillar Music, which is baby and toddler music sessions up and down the country. And I'm a member and a very lucky recipient of all the good work that the CAA does. So I'm here just to tell you a little bit about my experience. I've been a member of the CAA, I believe, for about 2 years now, pretty much as soon as I came on board as the CEO of Caterpillar Music. And I'm very glad I did. Okay.
Thank you. Anna?
Hi everyone, I'm Anna Neville. I'm the franchisor and founder of Kids Lingo. We teach French and Spanish to little ones from 0 up to age 11. I was looking back at my notes. I think we've been members of the CAA since about for the last 5 years. I think 2016 was when we joined, which was pretty early days, and for them and for Kids Lingo as a whole, actually. So, like Helen, I'm here today really just to share my experience as a member and all the benefits and support that we get to tell other people about that.
Avril?
Hi everybody, I'm Avril O'Brien. Same as Helen and Anna, I'm a member of the CAA. I was a franchisee and now the franchisor of Mitchy Titch Yoga, Fun, Fitness and Mindfulness from birth to age 12. So quite a wide age range that we deal with. And, I can't remember how long I've been a member of the CAA. I know it's a very long time. And again, just here to say a huge thank you to the CAA for the support that they give everybody, answer any questions that anybody may have about membership, and just to really, go CAA. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank Yeah, it's such a nice introduction. So I'm just really quickly going to go through some slides with just a little bit of background on the CAA, and then we'll just go to any kind of feedback or questions. So the CAA, a not-for-profit organisation governed by a board of experts, some of those on the call today. Our mission is to help raise the standards of the industry, to give parents, schools, nurseries and venues a benchmark for all organised children's activities by establishing and improving consistent standards and accreditation. Anyone who joins the CAA will have to go through a level of compliance where we'd look at the basic but very important documents around DBS, risk assessments, etc. So there's a process which will take a few weeks to become a member, but we're very strict around those kind of rules and regulations. But also on top of that, we like to kind of create a very supportive and inclusive community for the members and activity providers as a whole, but we'll get onto that a little bit more as we go along. So as I said, start with, you will get, when you become a member, you will get access to the CAA kite mark once you've passed that compliance. So the CAA membership kite mark is the kind of benchmark to give parents, schools, nurseries, venues peace of mind that you've met the CAA code of practice. You can use this kite mark across your website, emails, and marketing materials. Use it with pride, and you're listed on our website as a CAA member. George, I wondered if you wanted to add anything about the kite mark?
Sure. I think over the years, getting into venues and nurseries and certain locations has always been quite difficult in our sector. But in the last 12 months, it's like that on steroids now. I think when you're approaching businesses to try and teach at their venues, get into nurseries, schools, it is a lot harder. I'm sure the providers on the call now will agree with that. There's a lot more hoops you've got to jump through. There's a lot more competition. You know, a little church hall that might have used to always have quite a lot of availability are suddenly jam-packed with waiting lists, and they're trying to pick and choose who they'll have in. One of the good things of the kite mark, and what we're seeing a lot of members do now, is really use that kite mark to get into these places. It shows that you've got all the boxes ticked. It shows that you've gone through all the checks and that you're a safe provider to go into these places. Rather than having to kind of produce loads and loads of paperwork and confuse all the volunteers at these venues, this kite mark says it all really. And we're seeing loads of people using it, and quite often getting in the front of the queue, to be honest. I know Fiona on the call actually used it to get into quite a big chain of nurseries, because it just, it got you at the front, didn't it, Fiona?
Yeah, certainly. It's something that we shout about a lot in our marketing to parents. The fact that we're members of the CAA and fully accredited members. But you're right, George, it's helped us to establish a great relationship with a nursery chain. It's also really helped us actually when we were pre-COVID times running intergenerational sessions, in providing that additional reassurance to the care homes that we were going into to deliver sessions as well. So absolutely, it's something that's really helped us. And as a franchisor as well, it's something that I actually use in my franchise marketing to attract new franchisees. I think it certainly just helps with confidence across the board.
I think our members have realised that as well. I think any that didn't market it as much as they should have in the last 12 months really have upped their game, and it's been a real benefit and advantage to them. So yes.
Thank you. So some of the membership business benefits, Malta Michelle got free legal service, which we're going to discuss shortly. Class Bs, you might want to mention that a bit later, George, offer two free months of their service. There's a free forensic level health check from sports and activity professionals, and free advertising on What's On For. And as the membership grows, those benefits are growing as well. So we've got some other kind of partners and things in the background. So there's lots more to come with that. Sue, did you just want to tell us a bit more about the legal service from yourselves?
Yeah, of course. So I think we launched this January, February. And so it's available for all members. You get it automatically as part of your membership, and there's 3 parts to it. you've got your legal helpline. So that's the sort of 24/7 helpline. It's manned by trained solicitors, and it can help you in your business with any questions whatsoever, you know, whether it's about health and safety issues or a redundancy issue or whatever is going on. You've got that helpline. The other sort of telephone line, and this has been something that has the use of this, as you'll understand, has gone, you know, sky high in terms of volume, is the use of the counselling helpline. So there's a bit of feedback actually. I don't know whether thank you. So the counselling helpline is available again for all of your all the members and employees as well. So again, that's something that you've got free of charge as soon as you become a member of the CAA. And finally, and probably the bit that could really save you guys money as well is the more substantial amounts of money, and also just make things easier for you, is the legal services website. So there's two parts of that as well. You've got a business legal services website and you've got a personal legal services website. So the business legal services basically gives you access to legal documents, and it pretty much covers everything you might need in your business. So things such as employment contracts, things like debt collection letters, constructing those kind of things, anything to do with employment, all of those sorts of documents. And also I just noticed actually when I was looking at it earlier, things like privacy statements on your website. So anything legal, and actually all of those things, you'll know that when you go to your solicitor or whatever, they're all going to cost money. You've got that, and it's a self-service. You go in and you just sort of put your details in, and it asks you lots of questions, and then it comes up with your unique document. The personal side of that, I've used that personally, and that's things like wills, which is probably the biggest one that I think is of really good use under there. And again, you just asks you loads of questions, and it comes up with a full document you can print off. You can go and get certified if you want to, but you don't need to. But it's also got anything else in your personal life that you might have to use a legal document for. So you know, it's a really good service actually, and so all members, as I said, become automatic, have automatic access. You've got a code that you would need to just put into the website, and I'm sure Julia can help you with that.
Thank you. We've had such great feedback about that service, particularly for some of our members who are taking on Kickstarter employees that have used the HR documents. So they've created the contracts, the staff handbooks, the whole, supported the whole employment process for them with their Kickstarters. So we've been getting brilliant feedback. So yeah, it's been great. George, did you want to mention something really quickly about your Class Biz promotion?
Of course. So yes, as a partner of the CAA, you do get a couple of months free with our software. Again, the last 12 months I keep referencing to has shown people that you really need a system in place. It's vital. A lot of businesses that didn't have things in place have realized now you can't just have students rocking up for a class. You can't not have accurate registers and track and trace systems. It's really important to have this in place now. And yes, all CAA members get their first couple of months free, all your support, your help and things. So yeah, really with the partnership, you get hundreds and hundreds of pounds of savings by being a member. And yes, we're here if you need us.
And I should say all of these benefits are listed in more details on our website. So the kind of smaller prints there. So if you wanted to go and have a look at that, it's all over on the website. So one of the big things that's particularly developed over the last year is the membership community events. So we've now got an exclusive members only Facebook group where we share lots of information, discounts, events, etc. The CAA member zone. We have hosted so many webinars and workshops over the last, well, since I've started over the last 6 months, and before that we do a members only support chat, and some regional chats and events are coming up. But Fiona has been the hostess of with the mostess for most of the events and hosts our support chats. So I'll hand over to her so she can tell you a bit more about those.
Great, thanks, Julia. At the end of the day, this is one of the things that attracted me first to the CAA as a provider. It was going along to one of the early kind of conferences that we ran and just really feeling that real sense of community and providers supporting other providers. And that was the thing that really drove me to become a member in the first place. I'm a big believer that, you know, even whether or not we're franchisors, franchisees, independent, CICs, partnerships, whatever, we're all traveling along the same journey. We're all going through the same highs and lows, particularly over the past, 12, 18 months. And I think that the element of support and assistance that the CAA provides to members in that respect has been invaluable, particularly over the past 12 months. So we have, I suppose, informal and formal support available to members to help you at any stage of your business journey. We have, in normal times, regional events. So we run them across the country, and we have speakers, and it's an opportunity just to come together face to face and chat and share advice, seek support, bounce ideas. There've been some really valuable collaborative relationships built at those meetings as well, and it's so lovely to see members working together in different ways. Obviously those face-to-face events have been on hold, and we're very much hoping to start those back up towards the end of the summer and in September. So during lockdown, we've been putting them online. So we've had weekly support chats for members, which have been really well attended. It's been lovely to see members pulling together, helping each other through the minefield that's been COVID. Online classes, we've had discussions about all sorts of different things. And it's been lovely for me as a provider just to have that closer relationship with members during this time, and to have people that I can go to kind of bend their ear a little bit if need be. And I'm sure that some of the other providers on the call will probably hopefully reiterate that. Alongside all of that kind of support side of things, we've also had opportunities for learning and development. Face-to-face, in normal times, we've been putting them online during the lockdown periods, and then we'll be going back hopefully to doing some of those face-to-face again. And those have been a mixture of kind of led sessions about various topics. I know you mentioned the Kickstarter scheme there, Julia, but we've had ones about getting into schools, about different aspects of marketing, but we've also had some fantastic panel discussions as well about online classes, about heading back to classes, about all of the different aspects of getting through the minefield of the different rules and regulations. So yeah, for me, that's a really valuable part of becoming a member of the CAA. It's having the opportunity to become part of that wider community and members supporting each other, as well as obviously being supported by the CAA board.
Brilliant, thank you. And kind of have to mention as well, I think now that Avril, who's on the call, even hosted a yoga session for our members, which me and Fiona took part in. So yeah, it's been a very kind of diverse kind of different events we've had, from well-being to, like you said, more practical things. So yeah, we've had some brilliant feedback, and we've had hundreds of views of those events, and I know they've proved invaluable, and also the support chats as well. So we're going to continue. We've got lots more events coming up. We're not doing as regularly now because obviously if people are back to face-to-face classes, but we've still got lots of events to come and try and make those really kind of diverse and interesting for members.
I should also mention actually as well the buddy scheme, Julia, that we've developed over the past 12 months, and that's for any CAA member to put their hand up and say they'd like to be teamed up with another member to kind of work with them on a one-to-one basis. And it's just about helping each other, setting goals, an accountability buddy effectively. And again, that's proved really useful, I know, for quite a few members, and that's a scheme that's available to anybody who does join us.
We've had some really good feedback about that, especially kind of over the difficult last few months, and people planning on getting back to classes and just sharing ideas. I think that's, yeah, we've had some great feedback about that. Brilliant. Sorry, my slides aren't working, so apologies for this. Right, so I'm going to move on to the accreditation. Like I mentioned earlier, all CA members have to complete the compliance module to become a fully fledged CA member. But you can go on to get further accreditation. It's valid for 3 years and you'll get ongoing support with that. Just have to say it's not a mandatory part of being a CAA, and there's a separate fee structure, but I'm going to hand you over to Amanda and she can tell you a bit more about that. Oh, she's here. Oh, we can't hear you, Amanda.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Sorry.
No.
Yeah, thanks. I'll start again. So yeah, all of the details is on the website. So do check out the kind of the finer print and how it all works. But when we were setting up the accreditation program, it was all about helping people raise the bar, really. And so there's 5 modules. So the compulsory one is the compliance. So that's making sure you're all set with your legal and your insurance and your DBS. We don't get involved in that now. We have the other 4, which are program. So making sure that the program is age appropriate. There's progression in there. It's inclusive, and that it's age appropriate and everything. So there's the program. There's the delivery, and there've been some changes again through lockdown. But I think they're generally good changes anyway. So sometimes there's good things come out of a crisis. But what we've done now is we are, instead of doing individual site visits, which purely commercially for you guys was proving to be quite expensive, we're now doing the delivery module assessment by a Zoom call or a video. So we will watch one of your session leaders in a session with the children. It's often really nice, and especially when we were doing it face to face, I always made a point of telling the parents on the session that this is what was happening, and that actually it's a good bit of PR for you guys to have somebody from Fundamentally Children there watching the class, to make sure you're almost doing it on the behalf of the parents, because you're making sure that the delivery is as it should be. And again, that, you know, the energy levels, the interactions with the children, the pace, making sure there's warm-ups and sort of calm downs, and that the pace and the sort of pattern of the sessions is appropriate and engaging and developmentally beneficial. The next one is customer service, and that's all about your communications and a bit of marketing and making sure that parents know where to go for information, make sure that they're feeling like they're a valued stakeholder within your organisation. And then the last one is training, and that's only compulsory if you have staff that you're training. If you're a one-man band and you're running all your own sessions, you don't need to complete the training module. But everybody else who's got franchisee staff or anybody that they train up, the training is another accreditation module. And the idea behind all of this is to put those foundations in place so that when you grow and as you scale and go for franchise or employ more staff or set up different venues, you've got all of the basics in place, and you've got that evidence base. And again, it goes back to when you're pitching for business at schools or leisure centres or community groups, being able to say, well, we've done all this accreditation and we've got this certification. And it's independent, it's third party, it's not related to your membership in any way. So it's that kind of proper independent certification and accreditation that you, when the people who've got it, and there's several of you guys on the call here, the feedback we've had from it is it's not us with a tick ball going, oh, you haven't done that. It's actually a really supportive process, making sure that your business is as efficient and as effective as you want it to be, because nobody sets out as an activity provider for an easy life. It's not an easy thing. We're doing it because we want to make things better for children. We want to give kids that really great experience, and we want to make sure that they're developing through fun, interactive activities, and making sure you've got the sort of the program sorted, the delivery framework and the structure of the sessions right, and the sort of the paperwork as well behind the customer service and the training, or it gives you confidence. And I think Fiona said earlier, it helps attract really good staff and franchisees, and it gives the parents real peace of mind, and it gives you a competitive edge against non-members when you're pitching for business. So there's ongoing support. We're on the end of the line, as you're going through the accreditation, and then we'll check in with you again 3 years later. We ask that you update us if there are any changes to maintain the validity of the accreditation, and then we check in and renew it every 3 years just to keep it current and make sure that that best practices follow, because obviously new research comes out about additional needs or child development, and we want to make sure that is built into the accreditation process, so that the accreditation itself is as valuable and as useful for members as it possibly can be. I think at the end we've got questions and answers, but there's some case studies within the board who can talk about the process and how it works when we go through the accreditation process, and it's really not scary. It's all very it's all just about helping you be the best you can be.
Thank you, Amanda. Jane, I know you've been, are you there, Jane? 'Cause I know you're having some technical issues. I know you've been through the accreditation process. I wonder if you could just give us your feedback on your experience and what it's meant for you as a business.
Yeah, it was really important for me as a business to go through this. For me as the business owner, really, to make sure we dotted every I and crossed every T, and we all feel like that as activity providers, I'm sure. It was not a scary process at all. It was time consuming, yes, but it was thorough. It was a very supportive process. Amanda came out to our centres then and actually observed us in the workplace. The tutors delivering, spoke to some parents, went through all the files of paperwork that we had in place, and it was fantastic to get that 5-star accreditation, and really good for the business point of view. It's on all of our marketing materials, the kite mark. It's on all of our things that we use in the classes now. We really shout from the rooftops that we're a CAA member, and that we've been through this full process. So I can highly recommend it. But obviously it's not compulsory to do becoming a member, but it's something that's there that should be considered if you want to go through that process.
And if anyone has any further questions or wants more details on accreditation, I can obviously put them in touch with yourself, Amanda, or I can send out further details.
No problem.
Okay. I just wanted to thank you so much. I just wanted to hand over now maybe to our current members who are on the call, just to get a bit of feedback from them to kind of discuss their kind of experiences of CAA membership. So if I could start with Anna, I just wondered, how long have you been a member of the CAA, Anna, and why did you join in the first instance?
Yeah, thank you, Julia. I think it was early 2016. We only launched as a franchise in 2014, so it's still very early days. Whether it was late 2015 or early 2016, I'm not 100% sure. And I think the key reason I wanted to be part of the CAA was I felt I was sort of just out there on my own. It was early days. I had a lot to learn. And I wanted to be part of the community of children's activities. I wanted to learn from others, get best practice, insight into the industry. And it's absolutely delivered on that. And I, my business has grown hugely over the last period of time, the last sort of 5 years. And I've gained huge amounts of insight from, colleagues, not only those in the children's activities industry, but obviously those in other industries like George's and Sue's. And, there's always huge amounts to learn from the body of people involved in the CAA. And I think now that the business is bigger, it doesn't change things because there's still new things to learn. And, the last year, as we all know, has taught us that it's sort of reinventing the wheel ultimately, hasn't it? And the support and the insight that I think has been there over the last year has been absolutely fantastic, because I think we've all found ourselves at the end of our tethers at times. And, with the group chats, thank you very much, Fiona, that, all of those things, it's just been such a huge support to just tune in and just go, oh, please talk to me. Let's sit in here and have a cup of tea together and go through this. And I think, you know, that sense of community has always been there. I think it's been particularly highlighted this year because we've all needed each other so much more than previously. So that was one of the key reasons for me joining, and is a continuing to be part of it. Earlier on, Julia talked about the rigor and the framework, and again, as a small franchise when I was starting out, that was really important for me to do things in the right way from the early days, because if you do it right from the beginning, then you don't have to change things or have a massive re-engineer as you grow. You've got that framework, you've got everything, that foundation to which to grow from and continue with that best practice and everything in the right way. So that was really important for me. The Children's Activities Week as well, which obviously the CAA has been closely involved with Caldwell Children, is something we've loved being involved with, and we very much hope that will come around again. It obviously has had a bit of over a year's break, but being part of that and raising money for Caldwell Children with the support of the CAA has been a fantastic initiative to be involved with as well. So there is just so many factors from right from the beginning up to this point and absolutely beyond. So I'm a huge advocate, and I'd really advise those starting out further on down the journey, whatever size they are, that there's something that everybody can gain from the membership experience.
Just wanted to ask Stephanie, how do your franchisees, do you think, benefit from CAA membership? Is it something that they take advantage of as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, going back to what others have said earlier on, just in terms of the reassurance, the foot in the door with nurseries, with schools, venues, it just gives that extra layer of credibility that we can pull on to say, we do this, we do that, and by the way, we're part of this fantastic organisation, and this is what they stand for. So yeah, I'd say it's utilised across our network to varying different degrees, but I think we always make everybody very aware of our membership, what it stands for. With a lot of the training events throughout the COVID lockdown, we've advertised those to our franchisees to try and help them through that period of time, help them develop their skills when they had a little bit of downtime. So yeah, absolutely, it's very much a key part of our network.
Thank you. Yeah, should probably point out now, if any franchisees are watching, if a franchise joins, the membership is extended to all of the franchisees, so they can access the Facebook group, the events, the different benefits. So it really does support the whole network. Avril, I wonder if we could ask you a couple of questions about your membership. Oh, she disappeared. She's back. Can't hear you.
Sorry, I had to change over. Yeah, I had to change over to my phone because my I don't know, technology. Yeah.
So we talked about the CAA kite mark earlier, and I just wondered, because, well, I know how you use the CAA kite mark because I see all your lovely emails and website, but I wonder if you could talk us through that and how you use the kite mark.
Yeah, of course. Obviously a very, very important part of our franchise, having the kite mark. We display it on all of our social media, not just permanently there, but we use it in our monthly content as well. So we obviously post every single day different ideas from our classes. But we also post obviously about trying to bring people into the franchise, and we use the CAA as a huge part of that benefit. So we're always posting about our membership. We use it on our website, obviously, has a very prominent place there, and also in all the banners, whether it be on email, signatures, it's always there. It's obviously on my banner behind me here. We display it wherever we can. We also use it on our campaigns when we are targeting our schools. So we'll always use it as a sort of a flagship, really, that, we're part of the CAA.
we give them your website address so they can go along and see what you're all about and how you support us as members, so that they know they're using somebody really reliable, which is important to us and to the schools. And again, I think George mentioned earlier, you know, when you're going into venues, it's great to have these so that they feel comfortable bringing in a reputable company to hold sessions in their venues. So very important to us, an enormous part of our company. So yes, we display it wherever we can.
Right, yeah, brilliant, thank you. This is quite a big general question, but what do you love about being a CAA member?
It's probably best to say what you don't love, because there isn't anything. Again, just the reassurance that there's always somebody there to help. As Fiona said earlier, navigating the guidelines through lockdown was huge for all of us, and the CAA were a tremendous help. And championing the children's activity providers as well. You know, we feel like we've actually all got a voice now, and that has been through the CAA, you know, being there at the forefront. All of the benefits that have been mentioned from Morton Michelle, you know, the Kickstarter as well, I'm a part of now. I'm going to be taking somebody on, so I'm definitely using those benefits. And what Fiona spoke about, along with the buddy scheme, that's been great, you know, working and collaborating with others, but there's been real good friendships that have been forged through this time as well, you know, which has been a great help, because you do often feel that you're out there a little bit on your own, but you know, now that feeling is no longer there. We all feel a part of something much bigger. And I think it was it Anna that mentioned as well, you know, the Children's Activities Week has been great, and that brings great PR for all of the companies as well. You know, we had local newspapers and radio stations pop along for those events. So yeah, you get all of that benefit behind being part of the CAA as well. So, you know, the list goes on and on. I hope that has given, you know, everybody out there a good idea of how you can benefit from being a member of the CAA. And it's so reasonable a cost as well that it's no brainer, really.
I think you raise a really good point about the kind of collaborative working between members, because although obviously we've got a great deal of expertise on the board and that information sharing and with the regulations, I think seeing the membership, the members come together through the last 6 months, support each other, and there's such a vast amount of experience and expertise there, so shows how, you know, the members are so important to the whole organisation, and it's just been, you know, an amazing experience to see that over the last few months, so thank you. And also with regards to the Kickstarter scheme that you mentioned, you've probably seen some information on Facebook, etc., about the scheme. We have got a presentation on the kids activities page from Mark Rasher, who is the gateway for that scheme. But anyone who takes on a Kickstarter scheme will get a rebate of their fees for CAA membership. So we'll put some more information out about that, but just bear that in mind. Thank you, Avril. So finally, and last but definitely not least, Helen. Wondered if you just give us a bit of background on your experience. I just wondered what kind of specific kind of support and help do you get from the CAA, particularly kind of over the last year and through the pandemic?
Oh my goodness, the last year. Where do I start? It was, yeah, right at the start when, you know, we went into the first lockdown. And I was, you know, a relatively new franchisor. I'd only been a franchisor for about 1.5 years. And just deciphering the government guidelines, all heads together, just unbelievable. You know, think bits that people picked out that perhaps I might have, you know, washed over, just unbelievable. So deciphering the guidelines. Also, the CAA put together a survey for the parents, so that was really useful as well. Understanding kind of the anxiety levels of the parents as to whether they were ready to return to classes when it was all over, so that was really useful. And also to have the power together to lobby the government and actually get recognition to make those guidelines clearer for baby and toddler groups was really useful. But just looking back at some of the events that the CAA held online, so I haven't yet had the good fortune to attend one of the regional live events, but I'm very much looking forward to those when they restart, so we can all give each other a big cuddle, hopefully. But I feel like I know a lot of people personally now from these events. Not only was it the weekly member meetings where we just kind of got our heads together about various bits and pieces, but also the events. There was Rachel Haslam from Team Academy did the mindset, which was great. Some of my franchisees and myself did those. We had events, there was a seminar on reviews and testimonials and how to use those from Nigel Apley from Trustis. That was really useful. There was something on recruitment as well. There was something on advertising. There was a kickstart. The yoga, which sadly I missed, but hopefully one day we'll get together and do that, and getting into school. So it was all really, really useful stuff that some of my franchisees also attended, and it's just been brilliant, really, just to have that kind of someone to bash ideas around with. And it's as well, there's so much experience within the group from all different sectors within the children's activity. So something somebody thought of might not necessarily have been thought of over here. So even if you've not got that much experience, your fresh ideas also count, because it's just a different way of looking at things. But yeah, it's been amazing. And the bounce back guidelines as well were particularly useful, just to help me segment how I wanted to go forwards, kind of explaining it to the franchisees and what we're, you know, actually able to do. So yeah, amazing.
Thank you. That's such lovely feedback, and it's great to hear how the membership has supported you and your franchisees and all the benefits you've got over the last year and before that. And one of the things that Helen mentioned, and I did have a slide on it, but slides aren't working, so sorry, is about what goes on behind the scenes with the CAA. So we've talked a lot about membership and all the things you see going on in Facebook, but there's a lot kind of going on behind the scenes. If any of the board members want to jump in and chat about that, there's the lobbying to government, the supporting the Children's First campaign. George, I don't know if you just want to talk a little bit about the parent and provider survey that Helen mentioned, because you're obviously really involved in that. It's a big piece of work we've done behind the scenes and really important.
Of course. I mean, yeah, the survey was, we've done 2 surveys. We did one last year around May or June, based on just trying to show providers where parents were thinking, whether they'd be coming back. There was a lot of kind of negative thinking, people thinking, will parents want to come back to classes? Will they not? That survey just straight away showed parents were desperate to come back. We then did another survey, was it January this year? I think it was, just to kind of, again, help for the next lockdown, and just again show what parents are thinking in terms of, could they afford to come back? If they could afford it, would they pay a bit more? I think the overall majority, I think it was like 85% of parents said, the second you open your doors, you can have my children back. And it was some really, really valuable data. It's helped the board, it's helped us with our lobbying efforts. I think the exposure and PR we've got from it has been brilliant. And I think the government's starting to notice our sector. Back in March last year, they didn't. We were this tiny little sector they thought that no one really kind of listened to. We're now in most of the guidelines. And I think it's because of a real team effort from the board and from our members and providers that's got it to that. And there's plenty more to come, more surveys, and just getting in front of more parents as well with our future PR.
Yeah, I think those surveys and the data from those are really raising the profile of the CAA. There's a piece of work going on where we're going to kind of share those more and put it out there. And there's such interesting kind of unique data around the industry and children's mental health and well-being. I think, yeah, it was a really important piece of work. Thank you. So that's pretty much it. Has anyone got anything else they wanted to add? We could probably go on talking about the CAA for ages and membership, etc., because there's, as we're discovering, there's so many different layers to it, so many different benefits and positives. But is there anything else anyone wanted to chip in and add?
I've also forgot to mention, as a member, we all got discounted rates on the infection control certificate, that was really helpful.
One of our partners, Mini First Aid, one of our members, I should say, created with the CAA an infection control course, which lots of members took advantage of and got discounts on. So that was really great to support the sector. If anyone would like further information about joining the CAA, I should say we've got a $0 joining fee offer at the moment. If you join, there is no joining fee. We are trying to support the sector as much as we can, and membership is growing. We want the community to grow. We want to support as many of you as we can. So there's a $0 joining fee at the moment. Membership is from as little as £20 a month. You've heard about the benefits, the community, the events that we hold. If anyone would like to chat in more detail with one of the board members or one of our existing members, I can definitely set that up. I'm sure you'd all be happy to do that if you want to have a bit more of a one-to-one around that and just really kind of dig below the surface a bit more about what the CAA means to members. We can do that. We'll be holding more of these events, giving you more information, but I will put my email address out on the Facebook group, and any questions at all come back to me with regards to that's membership or the accreditation. But yeah, I really hope this presentation has given you just kind of a good overview. I mean, it's kind of, there's a lot of information and ground to cover, but I think, you know, there's so many different aspects of the CAA that are kind of so positive for members and the whole community. So I hope it's given you a good overview, and any questions or further information about membership, do come back to me or one of the board members. So thank you. Thank you all so much for coming and contributing.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
See ya.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.